everyone, welcome back to my channel, Fixing It Up with Sandra. And for those who don't know, I'm Sandra. I am all about creating, having fun, just living life to the fullest on a beginner level. I am totally new to this whole YouTube thing. I just realized how many people are actually looking for someone to do this kind of fun stuff, again, on a beginner level. So today we're going to be making Joanna Gaines's pie. Well, let me get my hand out of the way. We're going to be making her lemon pie right here. But first, I just wanted to give you a quick tour around the kitchen. Just trying to make sure where I'm looking at. Give you a quick tour around the kitchen, and then we'll get started with the pie. So I live in a really old house. My house was built in like the 1920s. It's an old farmhouse. We have a lot of built-ins. And during COVID, I decided to strip all the paint off the cabinets here, and there are a lot of them. So this was my project. We are renters. I wish so bad that we owned this house because there's so many things that I would do to it. But for the most part, I'm completely in love. And I cannot wait to share so many cooking videos with you guys on how to make like fun, easy, delicious meals that I am learning that are so easy to make. I am one that have always been intimidated by being in the kitchen. I didn't grow up cooking, and so I'm just starting to really get into it. And I've really found that Joanna Gaines's two cookbooks, Magnolia Table, have really just inspired me to just be adventurous and just really get into all these different types of ingredients that can come together and make something so delicious and good. So anyways, let's get started, and yeah, let me know what you think. All right guys, so today we are going to be making Joanna Gaines's lemon pie from her Magnolia Tables Cookbook Volume 1. This is a pie that I have made time and time again, and it is so delicious. And I do want to be clear that this is not a lemon meringue pie. This is a lemon pie that's made with sweetened condensed milk. So I guess it has more of a creamier texture, but it is still perfectly tart, just like a meringue pie. This is a super easy pie that you can make. You can do this in, it says, under 20 minutes. And you have to let it cool though for an hour and a half. So plan for that time if you are wanting to serve this for a special occasion or whatnot, that yes, you can totally whip this up even the day before, and then just make sure you let it cool. But let's get started. So I have all of the ingredients right here, and I do have my little cheat sheet right here, and just to make sure that I get everything correct. Like I said, I'm so new to making YouTube videos that, or how-to videos, that I really want to make sure that I'm very clear in explaining how to do things, that you guys can follow along really well, and that I'm actually speaking loud enough for you guys to hear, because that's the most important part. So I will try to make sure that I explain every single step that I'm doing. And of course, if you missed something or I wasn't clear, please feel free to leave your questions in the comments, and I'll definitely get back to you. But let's get started. So what you'll need is a deep pie dish. Now, I am a thrift person, so I got this at the thrift store. This is I believe like a 9-inch, yes, deep dish pie pan. This is a half quart, so this is what we need. I have made this pie in like those shallower pie dishes, and it gets really full. So I just recommend that you get one of these really deep pie dishes. If you want one brand new, they are about 20 bucks on Amazon. But if you scour the thrift stores like I do, you can find one for $4. So that's how much I paid for this. But so you want to go ahead and have your deep pie dish, because that's what we're going to start with. We're going to bake our crust, which is a graham cracker crust. Any kind of graham crackers will do. This is what we have, and we're going to chop these up really fine and mix it with a little butter, and it's going to be so good. I'm not a cheesecake person, so I've never really had like anything with a graham cracker crust. So this was mind-blowing for me. So we're gonna start this out. We've got our oven heated, and let's go ahead and spray down our pie dish. I'm just gonna use a little pan. And I do this over the stove because I have done this, like, you know, just going like this. Got it on my floor. Believe me, you don't want to be that person that walks over that. So we're just gonna lightly coat this. All right. And we have our oven. The oven is heated to 350. And now we're going to crush this up. And I'm gonna use my my Cuisinart right there to just kind of get like a really fine consistency. If you don't have it, that's fine. Throw this into a paper bag, crush it all up like that. That works as well. So this might get a little loud for just a second. And with the graham crackers, you're gonna need 1.5 cups. So. I have my little measuring cup right here, so I just need a little bit more. So I'm just gonna do a little bit at a time. And if you have any extra, what I like to do is I don't throw it away. I just put it in a container like this and then just keep it in a pantry. Because like I said, I've made this so many times. It's so good. All right. All right, I know that was a little loud. I apologize. I'm just gonna take the bigger chunks out and just put it in my cup. Okay, we're gonna measure out 1.5 cups. Okay, that's about it. All right, so now we're gonna mix this in a bowl with some sugar. And, all right, so we have 1.5 cups of our crushed graham crackers. And this cookbook says it's about 27 squares of graham crackers, just in case you were wondering. We're gonna add some sugar to this. We're gonna add 1/3 cup of sugar. All right. We're gonna blend that together, and then we're gonna mix this. Just get it all combined together, and this is what's gonna be our crust. All right. And then next we're gonna add the butter, which I have in the microwave, and it is gonna be 6 tablespoons of salted butter, okay? All right, so I've got the melted butter right here. We're just gonna add this into our crust right here. All right, just gonna blend this together. You can use a spoon, you don't have to use a whisk. In fact, I'm kind of wishing that I did use a spoon. Oh my goodness, I love the smell of this. See, I recommend a spoon. All right. Let's get this all nice and blended. Make sure everything is coated in that butter. And if you don't have salted butter, you can just use unsalted. I have not done this recipe using margarine, so I don't know how that would work, just in case you guys were wondering. All right, so it looks like it's all nice and coated. And then we're gonna press this into our pie pan or our pie dish. All right, so it's all nice and coated. Okay, so now it's all nice and coated. We're gonna take our pie dish that has been greased. Make sure that you grease this, because I have missed that step before, and it definitely makes the pie harder to get out when after it's all done. So you're just gonna dump this in like that. And I've got this really cool little tool that I got on Pampered Chef. And we're just gonna press this down and onto the sides, okay? You can use your fingers for this. I just like this little gadget. I'm one of those people, I hate putting my fingers. I try to use my hands, my bare hands, as little as possible when I'm making food, although I definitely do it. And this just goes around pressing this in, and it'll work its way up to the side. You want to get it nice and firm. And then we're going to be baking this for about 8 minutes. Just go around a few times. Just make sure you really got that pressed in there. All right, I think we've got it. Okay, and you really want to make sure that you get get high enough up, because you don't want your lemon, the lemon mixture, to be on the pie dish directly. So, okay, here's what we've got. Okay. All right, let me show you what I've got. See that? And if you're a cheesecake person, then you know how to do this. Again, I've never made cheesecake, so this was all brand new to me. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna pop this in the oven at 350 for 8 minutes. Okay, so while that's in the oven, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna use your mixer. Again, if you have a handheld mixer, that works just fine as well. And we are going to, oh, the wrong one. Don't want to use that one. We're going to use this one. We're going to use the paddle attachment in case you have a mixer like this. That's what we're going to use. All right, now here's where I have to use my hands. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna put our eggs, our milk, and our lemon juice and salt. We're gonna mix it all in here for about 4 minutes. And I'm gonna show you each step because I have not prepped ahead. And that's the whole point, because I want you to see it exactly how I do it. So we're gonna start with the egg yolks. Now, this is where I use my hands. I've just found this to be the easiest, and it helps me not break the yolk. And of course, watch, now I'll probably break a yolk. So I know a lot of people, they keep the white part. I've thought, I'm like, oh, I'll keep the white part. It broke in the bowl. But it turns out I actually never use it. So I'm realistic now. I just throw it away. And I know it's a waste. There's other things that I can make with it. But I know myself. And so I kind of toss the egg yolk. And this is such a slimy thing. So I've got 2 eggs. Now we're working on our 3rd. Now you can use your eggshells to go back and forth like I'm doing with my hands. But I've done that so many times and then I just punctured the yolk. So then it didn't work. I found my hands to be the easiest. And there's all these little gadgets out there that are that you can use. There we go. All right. It's a gross job, but somebody's got to do it, right? All right, let me wash my hands real fast. Okay. All right. Put this aside. Okay, so we have our egg yolks. And then I'm just gonna set that aside for a second. We're gonna measure out 3 cups of sweetened condensed milk. I do want to tell you that you will have some extra sweetened condensed milk left over. I hate that because if you've ever bought this before, you know how expensive this could be. I buy this at Costco because that's the cheapest place that I have found this. And I actually have a lot of recipes that call for this stuff. I just wish it was measured out into 3 cups because I hate throwing it away. Again, I know that there's so many things that I could use it for, but I've tried saving it thinking, oh, I'll make something. It never happens. So, all right, so 1 is a hair over a cup. So I'm gonna do that. I've got 3 cans right here. Okay, so all right, so I always try to see, and this is what's the cruddy part. It's just 2.5 cups, which, you know, obviously this is gonna give me, I think I will, you can make some delicious coconut macaroons with this, so that's probably what I'll make next, just so I don't waste the rest of this condensed milk. So we're gonna go up to 3 cups. All right, there we go. All right, so we've got our condensed milk, we've got our eggs, and we're gonna also get our lemon juice. Now, I have some lemons that a friend has gifted me, so these are delicious Meyer lemons, and I'm so excited. Let me get my juicer. I'm gonna cut up a bunch of these lemons now, and we're gonna need 2/3 of a cup of lemons. So I'm just gonna go ahead and cut up a few of these. It's roughly 3 to 4 lemons, depending on size. So I have a couple of small ones right here, so I'm just gonna cut up 5 lemons. All right, so I'm gonna set this aside. Since I only have 1 measuring cup, I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the mixer so I can use this to measure out my lemon juice. All right. Try to make sure I get all this goodness. Now I'm gonna be doing quite a few recipes out of this cookbook because it's so incredibly delicious and so easy. It's like, for me, it's my level of cooking. It's my kind of thing because I am far from a professional, but I totally understand everything that they talk about in this cookbook. All right, so go ahead, of course, get that seed out. And this is what you're gonna do while your pie crust is baking. So make sure that you set a timer. Usually I tell Alexa to remind me, but just go ahead and just keep my eye on the time. I absolutely love Meyer's lemons. If you don't have Meyer lemons, it's okay. It definitely, to me, has a different taste and just smells incredible. Now, you're gonna want an extra lemon just so you can do a couple of slices, you know, to make it look pretty at the very end, and to also do some lemon zest. So grab that extra lemon when you pick up some of these lemons, or when you pick up lemons for this recipe. Now, I have not done this with, like, you know, that imitation lemon juice, so I can't recommend that. Okay, I think we're at the 2/3. All right, so we've got that. And now we're gonna add this to our cream. Okay, it's already plugged in. So we're just gonna put this in there as well. We're gonna add our eggs, our egg yolks, let me just clarify. And we're gonna add a pinch of salt. Let me go grab the salt. All right, and it's been 8 minutes, so let me grab the pie crust out. All right, so I have the pie crust right here. This is how it's gonna look. Just gonna set that over onto the oven. We're gonna turn this on. We're gonna mix this for about 4 minutes, okay? We're just gonna let this mix on medium speed, but start out slow or else it's just gonna slush right into your face. All right. Okay, we're gonna let that do its magic, and I'm gonna get rid of some of this stuff. Actually, I'm gonna want this. All right. It's starting to come together. And I just want to show you, so since we have a minute, and hopefully you can hear me, this is what we're making right here. It is so good. I love this. All right, I'm gonna let this mix, and then I'll get the pie crust real fast. I think we've got that mixed pretty well. Okay, I'm gonna give it a couple of stirs just to make sure it's all mixed really well. And guess what? We're just about done making this pie. That is how easy this is. So, okay, we're gonna mix it. The oven is still on. It's still on at 350. We're gonna go ahead and pour this in. You don't have to cool the pie crust or anything like that. You're just gonna put it right in. All right. All right, so we've got the pie in, the lemon filling. Just kind of even it out. All right, guys, it is time to put this in the oven for 10 minutes. Once we do that, you're gonna bake it till the center is firm. So like if you give it a little jiggle, just make sure that it's firm. Then after that, you're gonna let it cool on a wire rack for about 30 minutes. After that, you're gonna put it in the fridge for an hour and a half, and that's it. You're gonna dress it up with some homemade whipped cream, a couple of slices of lemons. You're gonna garnish it with some lemon zest and then a sprig of mint if you have it. But we're done making the pie. It was that easy. That's why I love this recipe. So let me pop this in the oven real fast and I'll be right back. So now that I've got the pie in the oven, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up a little bit. We're gonna, I'm gonna come back. We're gonna do the whipped cream that you can make ahead of time. Put it in the fridge. That way when your pie is completely cooled and ready to serve, you have it all ready right there. So again, let me clean this mess up and I'll be right back. And I am back and our pie is out of the oven. And I wanna show you when I tell you to, like, when it says like test the jiggle in the pie to know if it's done. Here's what they're talking about. All right, so I'm gonna bring this over here and do this as carefully as possible. But see how it's pretty firm? That's how you want it, like that, okay? So I'm just gonna leave that over here for about 30 minutes and that's gonna cool and then eventually set. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and make the whipped cream. Again, you can do this with a handheld mixer. You don't have to use one of these. So I'm just gonna put the whisk on and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Now I need my measuring cup. I guess I cleaned it too good. So, all right, it's gonna be 1 cup of heavy whipping cream. Just pour that in here. These little cartons will do just fine. Excuse me, oops, sorry. Made a little bit of a mess because it spilled out. I'm just gonna add it. All right, and we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of sugar. And this recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract. I'm actually gonna use lemon extract right now. I want it to be extra tangy and tart. So we're gonna do lemon instead of vanilla. Then we're just gonna let this whip. And you're gonna have to be careful that you don't overmix this. You wanna watch it, even though it's easy to step away from. You wanna mix it until it has soft peaks. And I'll explain all this again once I turn this off. So just for a few minutes. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and slice our lemon to put on top of our pie. It's just about there. Almost there, I promise. All right, so I'm just gonna check the consistency. It's not quite thick enough, so I'm gonna do it probably for another minute. Okay, I think I got it exactly what you want. You want it to have soft peaks. And for those who have never made this before, this is what I want to show you. So peaks are when you bring it up and then it has like little mountains in here. You want to make sure that when you make these little mountains that they stand up on their own, that they don't like flatten back out. Mine, I want mine just a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna put it back on here. But that's what the little peaks are. So if you want stiff peaks, you really want them to be like hold firm. If you want soft peaks, you kind of want them to peak up, but then kind of, you know, fall over a little bit. I like mine a little bit thicker, so I'm gonna go for a little stiffer peaks. All right, we got it to the consistency that I like. Just gonna do a quick taste test to make sure it tastes good. It's good. And it's got that little tang of lemon that I love. So you can do this right before you serve your pie so you have this fresh whipped cream that everybody's gonna be so impressed with, or you can make it ahead, because I know that I tend to just run out of energy because I'm so busy during the day that I'm like, ugh, I should have done that earlier. So that's why I'm gonna go ahead and make this ahead of time. And we're gonna pop that in the fridge. And then I've got my lemon slices right here that I'm gonna use to garnish. And then I have my lemon right here that I'm going to zest. This lemon zester, or I shouldn't say lemon zester, this zester that I got on Amazon was life-changing. I had this little tiny one that I would have to go around like this. Oh, man, this is amazing for cheese, for zesting, everything. It's incredible. It is so sharp, so you have to watch your fingers. But I will have all of this ready for when I'm getting ready to serve the pie. It's gonna be all ready. I can just take it all out of the fridge, throw it together, and people are gonna be so amazed that I made this super delicious pie so fast. But that's it. We're done making the pie. Cleanup is done. I will put all of the information that that you'll need for this pie. And if you follow me on Instagram, I will be putting this in my stories. But other than that, this is it. Oh, my Instagram is Sandra, what is that, underscore? Campos79, just in case you want to follow me on Instagram, because I do actually have a few recipes that are in my story highlights that I haven't done on YouTube. So you can go over there and watch some of those fun recipes. But yeah, I'll do my best to make sure that I put everything in the descriptions. Of course, if you have any questions, comments, constructive criticism, anything like that, feel free to leave it in the comments below. But yeah, thank you for making this pie with me. And again, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do so just hit that little bell or the little subscribe, and then you'll be notified every time I upload a video on YouTube, which will be every Friday. And it'll be a mixture of all kinds of stuff. So look forward to more how-to videos on a beginner level, because that's what we all are. So anyways, have a fabulous day, and I'll be back with you guys again soon. All right, guys, so now it's time to put the final touches on our lemon pie. And you can see how firm it is. And it has been a busy day, so I'm so glad that I did all of this prep before, or when I was doing all this, instead of just waiting till the very end. All right, so remember, we have our lemon whipped cream right here. So what I'm gonna do is just top and get this pie into the camera frame. So I'm gonna top the pie with this. And you don't have to do the whole pie if you don't want to. I don't, because I know not everybody likes whipped cream, so I just kind of swirl it around. And then I always add extra to mine because I like a lot of whipped cream. All right, so there we go. We're gonna set that aside. And then remember, I had sliced some lemons, so I'm just gonna add a couple. And I don't have the sprig of mint like it recommends in the cookbook, but that's okay. It's still gonna come out really pretty. So we're gonna top it like that. I think 3 is perfect. Then we're gonna add a little lemon zest, just to give it that little extra bite. Remember, this is my favorite zesting tool. So we're just gonna lightly go over this. It smells so good. Okay. All right. And that is it. This is the Magnolia Table lemon pie right there. So pretty. Now I cannot wait to eat this. So enjoy, and I'll see you guys again soon.